This is why I'm here today. Usually I'm stay in the background, and I couldn't stay quiet anymore.
Can you describe what you said in your letter to the GOP lawmakers to meet with them? Did you call it a slap in the face, or?
Yes, I did. Yes, because they put their lives on the line. This is supposed to uphold the Constitution, and right now I don't think they're doing it.
That was Gladys Sicknick, the mother of Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick, who died after the January 6th riot at the Capitol. She was on the Hill today urging Republican senators to back a commission to investigate the attack ahead of tonight's expected Senate vote. So far, just 3 GOP senators say they'll support the bill: Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, and Mitt Romney. That's still well short of the 10 needed to overcome the filibuster. Minority Leader Mitch McConnell is vocally opposed to such a commission, accusing Democrats of wanting to relitigate the past. When asked what he'd tell Officer Sicknick's mother, he said this.
The investigation on what happened is fully underway. The FBI is all over this. Both the Homeland Security Committee and the Rules Committee are coming up with a game plan to tell us exactly what we need to do to secure the Capitol and make sure this doesn't happen again.
So the Republican Party, allegedly the party of the Constitution, of police, of law and order, is poised to reject a commission to investigate the lawless mob that overtook the Capitol, disrupted the certification of an election, and resulted in the death of an officer, followed by 2 deaths by suicide, and of course, over 100 injured officers too. I guess it's not really all that surprising from the party that largely and falsely insists there was widespread election fraud. Plus, they have a far-right media that's helping bolster that lie, as well as other crazy and dangerous conspiracy theories. Just look at this new polling. A full 15% of Americans say they agree that, quote, the government, media and financial worlds in the US are controlled by a group of Satan-worshipping pedophiles who run a global child sex trafficking operations. 20% believe a storm is coming that will sweep away elites and restore, quote, rightful leaders. 15% also believe true American patriots may have to resort to violence to save our country. When you break out that poll by party, surprise, Republicans are much more likely to agree with those beliefs. And surprise again, the study also found that those who mostly trust far-right networks like Newsmax or OANN were also far more likely to hold QAnon-type beliefs. It doesn't help either when you have lawmakers, I'm looking at you, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and even the former president pushing these conspiracies. Donald Trump refused to denounce QAnon at an NBC town hall in October, and he's still pushing the lie that he won the election. And should any conservative dare stand up to Trump and his false claims, they get kicked to the curb. The latest is former GOP Congressman Joe Walsh. He just lost his show on the Gab radio network, and he says it's because he's been outspoken against the former president. Former Republican Congressman Joe Walsh, who tried to run against Donald Trump in the 2020 GOP primaries, is here with me now. Thanks for coming back on the show. You also lost a radio show after you announced your presidential run against Trump in 2020. Do you think you're a victim of conservative cancel culture?
Hey, Mehdi, good to be with you. Look, no, I don't think I'm a victim, and I don't think this is cancel culture. This is the second time I've lost a radio show. Look, I know what the deal is. To be a Republican today, you have to embrace Donald Trump every single day. If you want to succeed in the conservative media world, Mehdi, you got to get down on your knees every single day and say Donald Trump is the greatest. I could never do that because I didn't believe it. I know that most of the audience, Mehdi, believes it. So, yeah, look, it makes me sad because nobody else in conservative talk radio is putting truth and facts into these folks. But the market spoke.
You tweeted that you thought it was important that there be one anti-Trump conservative voice on the radio. So where can Republicans and conservatives now go for factual information that isn't Trumpian, isn't conspiratorial, or are they just stuck forever in a misinformation media bubble?
Mehdi, nowhere. There's nowhere to go. Fox News, OAN, Newsmax, everybody on conservative talk radio does the same thing. Peddle these lies and conspiracies every day. There's no way to go. I so wish that one of these network executives, Mehdi, had courage. I mean, had courage to put a conservative like me on who would tell these people the truth. Because and maybe you disagree with me, but this is America's problem. We've got 40 to 50 to 60 million Americans right now who are lost. I mean lost in a sea of lies and conspiracy. That impacts the whole country.
No, I agree with you 100%. It's the biggest problem facing America today. I don't know the solution to it. It's only getting worse. You and I have very different political views. I disagree with a lot of what you've said and done and voted for. But you and I can agree that up is up and down is down and hot is hot and cold is cold. And the problem is we have millions of Americans who do not agree with that. That poll we cited earlier is stunning in terms of the number of people, especially Republicans, who believe in QAnon-type conspiracies, who are now talking about violence. And let's talk about violence. Let's talk about the insurrection. Mitch McConnell is not at all supportive of a January 6th commission. Democratic Senator Joe Manchin slammed him for once, and the rest of the GOP who opposed the commission, saying, quote, they continue to live in fear. Do you agree with that? And if you think they are living in fear, is the fear of Donald Trump getting them primaried? Or is it the fear of members of their own party threatening them with violence?
Hey, Mehdi, it's the fear of Trump's voters. And it's the fear of, and I'm so tired of this bullshit, Mehdi. I hear members of Congress, Republicans, privately say that they're physically afraid for their lives if they publicly stand against Trump. Well, I'm sorry, that's your job. And for the last 3.5 years, as I've publicly opposed Trump, I've gotten threats on a daily basis. Republicans in Congress, if you can't do your job, find another line of work. And Mehdi, I got to say this. Thank you for what you said about Paul Ryan. Let me chime in. Screw Paul Ryan. Screw him. I mean, you think of all the Republicans and former Republicans who put everything on the line these last few years to publicly oppose Trump and publicly support Biden. And Paul Ryan now comes out now. He's got something to say now, 7 months after Trump lost, 5 months after Trump's insurrection. I am so sick of this Republican cowardice. Screw Paul Ryan. That's the problem, Mehdi. But you know what? CBS, NBC, ABC, they'll give Paul Ryan all day long, even though he was nowhere to be found during this fight.
Let me ask you this, Joe. Has Paul Ryan always been Paul Ryan? Has he always been this cowardly? Because back when he was leading your party in the House and you were in the House with him, prior to him becoming Speaker, he was, as you say, he got a lot of attention from the media. People thought he was a very serious figure. Isn't he always the same? Hasn't he always been the same person?
I think he's always been this way, Mehdi. When I was in Congress with him, I called him the most overrated Republican in Congress because the media just fawned over him as some serious policy leader. I don't know what he did. And again, I'm talking about an absence of a backbone. He displayed it when he was Speaker, when Trump got elected. Mehdi, you know and I know what Paul Ryan privately thinks of Donald Trump. But he has not had the ball to say what he privately believes about Donald Trump. Paul Ryan, Mehdi, is going to speak tonight. Do you know in his speech tonight, he won't call Donald Trump out by name, not once? Look, forget these Republicans. This party is done.
Sadly, this party does seem done in a kind of philosophical, ideological sense. They're not done electorally. They tend to control a lot of state legislatures. They could very well win back the House and Senate next year, especially with redistricting. And therefore, we should all be worried about a party that is still in hock to Donald Trump, still living in fear to Donald Trump's base. And that's people like Paul Ryan, as you say, not willing to even take Trump's name, even now. But we appreciate you speaking out. Former Congressman Joe Walsh, thank you for your time tonight. Hi, I'm Mehdi Hasan. Thanks for checking out our channel on YouTube. You can see more of the Mehdi Hasan Show by clicking on any of the videos on this screen, and make sure you subscribe below to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. Thank you for watching.